this call. My name is Nomfundo Maseti. I am the chairperson of the Pipe Gas Subcommittee, which is the committee that is holding today's meeting. And today's meeting is meeting number 218. The date is 11 August 2026. As indicated, I will be chairing this meeting, and I'm with the members of the Energy Regulator, which I will introduce to you so that you can recognize their voice when they are providing input, and they are all here to take decisions on today's matters. I would like to introduce Mr. Musuvukile Mkhize, who is the member primarily responsible for the petroleum pipelines industry. Mr. Mkhize.
Thanks, Chairperson. Good morning to Chairperson, fellow members, management and staff of NERSA, as well as the members of the public that are following us through the various live streaming platforms. As I indicated earlier on, I may have some challenges on my side, as explained, but I will be participating in the meeting. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Mkhize. I would like now to introduce Advocate Nomalanga Stole, who is the CEO of NERSA and the member of this committee. Advocate Stole.
Good afternoon, Chairperson and members and everyone on the call for this particular meeting. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you very much. I would like now to introduce Mr. Willie Majola, who is the member primarily responsible for the regulation of electricity.
Good afternoon, Chair. Good morning, members. Good morning to the staff at NERSA, and good morning and good afternoon to all the members of the public that have joined us. My name is Willie Majola, a member of the regulator. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Majola. I would like to also introduce Madam Precious Sevilla, who is the member of this committee and the chairperson of the audit and risk. Okay, Madam Sevilla is
Good afternoon, everyone.
yes.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Precious Sevilla. I'm greeting all the committee members. Greetings to the NERSA team and also to the members of the public joining us today. Again, my name is Precious Sevilla. I'm a part-time regulator member. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Madam Sevilla. Members, we have a proposed agenda. I would like the members to raise their hands for the adoption of this agenda. Thank you, Madam Stole, Madam Sevilla, Mr. Majola. Did I miss? Thank you, Mr. Mkhize. I also support the adoption of this agenda. Members, just to remind you to complete the declaration of interest forms that are uploaded on the convene. Unless members have any interest to declare in terms of the items we are going to consider today, by exception, members, otherwise you can have your interest noted in writing. By show of hands, if there are any verbal declarations by exception. There's no hand. Thank you, members. We're now proceeding to consider the substantive regulatory matters. We're starting off with item number 5, the report on monitoring of Columbus stainless steel. Team, please introduce the submission, and please take note of the fact that we've got a number of submissions for today's meeting. If you can kindly introduce and indicate what are the relevant and aspects of this submission for the committee to take a clear decision.
Thank you very much, Chairperson. I will take the submission as read. Chairperson, before members, this is a report on the monitoring of Columbus Stainless compliance with the approved maximum gas price covering the period from 1 July 2025 until 30 June 2026. Chair, the purpose of the submission is to assess and monitor Columbus's compliance with the approved maximum price, and this is in line with Section 21(1)(p) as well as Section 22 of the Gas Act. Chair, on the 9th of July, we received the pricing information from this applicant in the form of invoices, and the copies of the corresponding invoices are attached as Annexure A of this submission. Chair, before moving to the analysis of both Section 21(1)P as well as Section 22 of the Gas Act, Chair, I'd like to note, members, that we have encountered some challenges and delay in receiving the maximum gas price application from this applicant for the period starting from 1 July 2025 until 30 June 2026. However, on the 5th of June, we have received the multi-year application from Columbus. We are currently processing this application, As such, Chair, the previously approved maximum price of 138.89 rand per gigajoules will remain in effect during this current monitoring period from 1 July 2025 until 30 June 2026, as shown in Table 2 of the submission. Chair, I would also like to make a correction under decision. The decision for this report is for noting, not for approval. Chair, without wasting time, I'd like to draw members' attention to Table 2 of the submission, which basically shows analysis of Columbus is compliant with Section 21(1)P of the Gas Act. And as shown in Table 2, Chair, the prices charged by Columbus, volume handle, as well as the NESA approved maximum price for the period 1 July 2025 until 30 June 2026. The analysis showed that Columbus has charged its customers an actual price which was below the previously approved maximum price for the period 1 July 2025 until 30 June 2026. And Chair, therefore, Columbus complied with Section 21(1)P of the Gas Act. Moving on to Section 22 of the Gas Act, Chair, this provision of the Gas Act does not apply to Columbus.
We have taken more than 5 minutes on this simple submission, please.
Yes, Chair, this provision of the Act does not apply to Columbus since they only have one customer for the monitoring period, 1 July 2025 until 30 June 2026. Thank you, Chairperson. The recommendation are on page 8. Thanks.
Thank you very much, members. Any comments? Any issue of guidance? Madam Spear.
Thank you, Chair, and thank you to the presenter. Without wasting time, Chair, I just wanted to confirm 411 and the issue of the delay in submission in the application. You're saying that they face challenges for the period 2025 to June 2026. But now they submitted finally on June 2026. But then there's a period there, including 25-26, which you are saying we are currently processing the application. My question is, are we now going to process only from 1 July 26 up until June 27, or we are reviewing the whole 3-year period, even though we've just now are dealing with the 25-26. I just wanted to confirm that, Chair. Thanks.
All right, thank you very much. Any other hand? May you please respond to the question of clarity?
Thank you very much, Chairperson. Chair, just to respond to the question, the new maximum price application that was submitted by Columbus, it covers a multi-year period, so it's ending June 2027. Thank you, Chair.
Madam Spear, are you clarified on your question?
Chair, no. I'm asking about the first year of the 3-year application. The first year of the 3-year application is the same as what you are presenting today. I'm asking if we are going to ignore it in the 3-year and deal with the 2 years, because we are dealing with year 1 now.
Okay. Yes. Yeah, it's a straightforward clarity that is required. We've got Mr. Ngomalo and Ms. Makoda. Please clarify.
Chairperson.
You can go ahead, Ms. Makoda.
Chairperson, the applicant had applied for the period, including the period that was skipped. If you look at paragraph 411, you will note that the multi-year application that has been submitted is from 1st July 2025 to 30 June 2027. However, when the NERSA makes a decision, it will be implemented from the date of that decision. So the application covers all the period, including the late submission. I hope I've answered the question, Chair. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I think you created confusion here. What is needed? I think the confusion about an application, because an application is still a forward-looking, and this submission that is before us, it is a backward-looking. We need to just look at the compliance with an approved decision. That's all that we need to deal with here. What is the confusion about? Because this is the annual thing that we have to do, even in our predetermined objectives. So what's the issue here? For 2025-26, what is the problem? Did we approve that price? If so, how much did we approve? And therefore, did they comply with it? That's all that you need to clarify to assist. Can you do that, please?
Chairperson, as you have indicated, this is a monitoring report. Perhaps this matter should have been included in the application. But in terms of our requirements for monitoring purposes, we are monitoring the price applicable for 1st June 2025 to June 2026. Thank you, Chair.
To assist here, if you can just answer the question, did we approve the price last year, a price that is applicable from 2025 to 2026? That's the first question. And then the second one will clarify the issue. Did we approve or did we not approve? Please go ahead.
Thank you very much, Chairperson. Maybe to try to respond to the question, Chair, during the period 2020.
Did we approve the price or did we not approve the price?
We did not approve the price,
Chairperson,
because we did not receive an application for that particular period. But for the purposes of the monitoring, Chair, we are using the previously approved price. Thank you.
Okay, the members, I'm not going to delay your time on this aspect. We will return the submission back because it's not the issue is not going to be solved here. The only issue that we can actually look at with regards to whether they complied or not is if we had already approved the price. Now, after that, is just to check for compliance. So this matter is returned back so that I don't waste the time of the subcommittee on matters like this, if now this comes this way. Mr. Mkhize, so that we can get to the decision to return the matter. Mr. Mkhize, please go ahead.
Yeah, Chairperson, from a point of view of progress in terms of decision making, I take it that the problem that we're having here is articulation. My understanding is that if there's no new application, the current tariff prevails. And therefore, when they've got to do the comparison, it's done against the current one. And now the question is, if that was not supposed to be done like that, then we can say that we are returning it until there's an approval for the year that is under review. But for the other years, then it stands. So just want to get clarity around that so that we're just clinical in terms of what to expect them to do and taking the decision as this committee. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Mkhize. That's exactly what I was trying to, I wanted them to put on record actually, is whether the price that we have before us, the price of 138, was there a decision of the regulator? Because if there was a decision of the regulator, it remains. So that's all that I wanted to establish. Mr. Nxumalo, can you answer that so that the meeting can proceed? Did we approve this price of 138?
Thank you, Chairperson. Yes, indeed. The price of 138 was approved, I think, as stated in the submission on a previous occasion. That's the current price that is still applicable. based on a decision that was made by the energy regulator. And in fact, with a caption in terms of the conditions when the decision was made, it said that if the decision will stand until a new decision is made. So I think that points to the point that Mr. Mkhize is making. So indeed, the decision was made. So the price was approved. So the consideration here is that we are seeking approval in relation to compliance with that decision.
Yes.
As stated. Thanks.
Thank you. You are fine, Madam Spear?
Yes, Chair, I'm fine. We can
Thank you very
proceed. I'm satisfied. Thank you.
Thank you very much. All right, members, by show of hands, if you are in support of the recommendation in paragraph 15, that Columbus Stainless complied with the Act. Thank you, Mr. Mkhize. Thank you, Madam Sibia. Thank you, Advocate Stole. And Mr. Tfashatwa, you can't come at this point and vote. We are voting, please. I don't take time on matters like this for too long. Is there anything legally and factually that will change this decision from the fact that on record, Mr. Nxumalo says this price was approved?
Chairperson, good afternoon, as well as good afternoon to the members, as well as the members of the public. Chair, it's just for the record to get confirmation, Chair. The committee is noting this submission and not approving. I just wanted to get confirmation and clarity for the record.
Yes.
Thank you, Chair.
Thank you. It is the noting. The committee is to note. So please, Mr. Dlamini, on paragraph 15.1. Remove that approval. It's just an error. All these matters of monitoring, they're always there for noting of the compliance, not approval. Thank you very much. All right, members, as I indicated earlier on, that I will need to hand over the chairing of this meeting to Madam Spear, if you can kindly assist, as I have to now switch to do the presentation for NERSA at the Parliamentary Committee on the gas bill. Over to you. I will still be here to join back after I present it. You may please assist Madam Spear. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Let's now go back to the agenda on the next item. I think we've resolved on the matter that you've just discussed, which was item 5, Columbus Stainless. Let's now move to item 6, final assessment of Evras Highveld Steel and Vanadium Limited. Can the presenter take us through on a high level? And then we take comments and questions afterwards. Over to you.
Thank you very much, Chairperson. Before members is a final assessment of Evras as application for maximum gas price covering a period from 1 January 2026 until 31st December 2026. Chair, the purpose of this submission is to request the committee to recommend to the energy regulator to approve Evras's application for maximum gas price, as well as the reason for decision for this particular maximum price application. Chairperson, just in summary, Evras is applying for a maximum gas price of 187 rand, 0.1 cent per gigajoule for end user customer, as well as a maximum price of 177.66 cent per gigajoules for resellers. And both these maximum price are for a period starting from 1 January 2026, ending 31st December 2026. Chair, the summary or the breakdown of this maximum gas price application is showed in Table 1 as well as Table 2 of this submission. Table 2, Chairperson, shows the reseller's maximum price, which include the 5% reseller adjustment as prescribed in the methodology. Chair, moving on to Table 3, which shows the difference in trading cost calculation between the applicant as well as NERSA. As we can see in the table, Chair, the overall difference between NERSA's calculation as well as Evras' calculation translates to 0.29%. And the Chairperson, this difference is attributed to WACC, which is the weighted average cost of capital, as well as the taxation. In terms of the work, what resulted to this difference is the fact that we use the latest available information, whereas Evras relied on the rates available at the time when they were submitting the application, and hence we have difference of 0.23% in our overall work calculation. When it comes to taxation, Chair, we experience a variance of 18.2%, and this variance is attributed to the licensees omitting the actual cost of debt value in its tax calculation. We both use the flow-through approach and accept that the applicant omitted the actual value of the KD in its tax calculation, which then resulted in this variance. However, Chairperson, it is important to note that taxation is one of the components that is subjected to auditing as part of the RLM, and hence this tax amount will be reviewed after receiving the audited financial statement from this applicant to confirm the actual tax expense that was paid by Evras, and any differences will be then corrected through the clawback mechanism. Chairperson, lastly, in summary, Table 5 show the overall calculation of the maximum price between the applicant as well as NERSA, which shows the difference of 5.22%. This variance, Chair, arises primarily due to trading costs as well as profit components. However, Chair, the difference is below our 10% minimum threshold, and therefore to maintain to be consistent with our past decision, we accept Evra's gas price application of 187.01 per gigajoule for end users customers, as well as 177.66 maximum gas price for resellers of gas for the period 1 January 2021 1 January 2026 until 31st December 2026. Thank you, Chairperson. The recommendation are on page 8 under paragraph 15.
Thank you. I thought you were going to switch when you were saying 2021. I was saying, wow. I see a hand, Mr. Mkize, your hand is up. Or is it an old hand?
Sorry, it is a lingering one, but I might as well just proceed to ask questions on this one.
Okay, you can proceed, and then, see.
Yeah, from my side, I'd just like to get to understand the on table 5, you've got the resellers, right? That adjustment. I've seen it moving from, having different figures, whether it's 5%, 4%, what really goes into deciding what that percentage should be? And also in terms of volumes, maybe I missed some of the things, but as I've explained earlier, those volumes, because I look at the differential between NERSA's and theirs, where is the prudence and efficiency testing thereof? The same talks to the OPEX, the OPEX figure, that operating expenditure figures. Maybe if you can just guide me that you, in other words, just to have that comfort that these figures, in terms of the cost, is prudent and efficient. Thank you.
Thank you, CE.
Thank you, Chairperson, and to the presenter. Chair, my points are mainly for enhancements. I just thought that it is important for the team to complete the table of the executive summary starting on page 2 to 3, just to cover up the issue of public consultation in terms of notices and when did that close, because we've always been seen not to be really properly consulting with those that are interested or affected by some of the work that we do, and in this case, the pipe gas one. And under deliberations, Chairperson, paragraph 7, I think it would have been important to really put the date of the PGS meeting where the points under Table 6 are indicated. And lastly, Chairperson, in terms of the submission, I've noted that one of the biggest differences in our calculation relates to, I think it's the tax issue. I'm just trying to get to that particular page. And my question relating to that was that in our engagement with the applicant or licensee, did we get clarity before we really finalize the submission? I do note the point that you stated under 4.4.7. Chair, those were just my points of enhancement and one of clarity on 4.7, which is on page 5, regarding the tax calculation. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you. On my side, I think you have addressed the issue of, because my question was on the issue of tax and also the work. You did address the issue of tax, that there will be a clawback later when it is audited. I am fine with that. Just confirm with regards to work if we have applied exactly what is in the methodology. That we take the latest information. So that is, I just want that confirmation. But also, what gives me comfort is that on 6.7, even though these two were different, we as NESA ended up with a higher maximum price than Everest, who have a lower maximum price. I think I would have been more concerned if it was the other way around. But we need to close on those two things that create the differences. Over to you. You can respond.
Thank you very much, Chairperson. Chairperson, just to start on the work issue, we did took the latest information on the work on work. Hence, that resulted in that small variance between us and the applicant. Chairperson, moving on to question regarding the prudency assessment. Chair, Table 6 of the submission does outline that the prudency of all the necessary components were actually conducted. Chair, if we can go to Table 6 of the submission, it is there. And then when it comes to the public consultation process, Chair, Section 8 of the submission outlined the public consultation in terms of the process as well as the closing dates. However, we are taking the guidance from the CE to also include that in the executive summary. Chair, I think that is all from my side. Thanks.
Okay. Any further matters of clarity? I think I see the hand. Yes, Lebon.
Thank you, Chairperson. I think there was also a question from Mr. Mkhize who wanted to get clarity on the 5% resellers adjustment. I think this one is on paragraph 5. Just to clarify that 5%, Mr. Mkhize, is a minimum that licensees can give to resellers. It's a minimum. It may be more than 5% at times. So that's why you see it sometimes perhaps not being the same. So they've got a duty to basically pitch it at 5%, but they can decide to grant, a discount that is much more than that 5%. So I thought I'd quickly just clarify that part as well, Chairperson. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, I don't see any more hands. Ms. Masetu, you're back.
And Mr. Mkhize's hand is up now.
Yeah, I'm still coming to you.
Thank you, Chairperson. Chairperson, yes, I've been listening because I thought they gave the slot to the other parties. So, Chairperson, I just wanted to also add on that issue of the margin, that it is actually in the methodology itself. So as we have that cost plus, when it comes to now the traders, which they call the resellers, the Act has traders. So since Sasol is also a trader, and it is the one that is selling the gas to the others that it competes with, So it provides an additional discount of 5%, which is the minimum, as Mr. Nxumalo has indicated. It is in the methodology itself. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you. Thanks for the clarity, Mr. Mkhize.
Thanks. I know the response. What I'm looking at is maybe some kind of justification to say you've got 5. And then when it moves to 6 or 7, whatever percentage, that there just be some clarification to say if they settle for a minimum, yes, maybe these are the reasons behind it. I don't think also my question on the prudence and efficiency testing of OPEX, as well as the volumes justification. As I said, simple. Don't shy from just pointing me to a paragraph if I've missed that. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Nxumalo, please assist.
Thank you, Chairperson. I think maybe in the interest of time, we'll adjust that paragraph on prudence, Mr. Mkhize. Indeed, I think your issue is that it should also reflect the prudence in as far as volumes are concerned. So currently, perhaps it doesn't. I think we'll just make an enhancement onto that to reflect that aspect as well going forward. Chairperson, I think, that's how we'll deal with it with regard to that. And then on the issue of the adjustment on the 5%, I think Mr. Mkhize's point is that, let's indicate where it's been pitched at the minimum, the reasons for that, and also so that it can basically distinguish with those instances where the discount is actually pitched at the higher level, up just above the minimum. So that will be done as well going forward. Thanks.
Thank you. Are you sorted, Mr. Mkhize?
Yes, kind of. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, let's go to making a decision. The recommendations, I'm reading from page 10 of 11 of the submission. I think that's the summary. The resolutions, the recommendations to the ER to approve the application for maximum gas price in terms of section 21, 1P for the period 1 January 2026 to December 2026. And then the second one is the reasons for the decision for EVRA's application for a maximum price for the period 1 January 2026 to 31 December 2026 with the confidential information all in the annexures. By show of hands, members, if we approve that decision, those two decisions. Thank you. I see your hands, Mr. Mkhize, Mr. Tole, and Ms. Maseti. I see all your hands. Thank you very much. I also approve. Thank you. Let's move to the next item, which is preliminary assessment. Item 7, preliminary assessment of SLC and G, the application for the maximum price for the period 1 July 2026 to 30th June 2027. Over to you, high level, maximum 5 minutes, and then we take comments and questions. Over to you, presenter.
Thank you, Chairperson. Chairperson, this is the maximum price application from SLCNG. They are applying for a maximum price of 375 Rand 84. Chair NERSA has assessed the application. The only difference that we could find is under the trading cost, which is due to the differences in the information that was used. that is the timing of the information that was used. And that differences then affected also the difference in the profit component. Chair, in terms of the highlights, that is the only highlight that we want to present at this stage. We are asking that the committee note the preliminary assessment and approve that the discussion document be published for public comments. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you very much. Members, any comments or questions? See no hands. Let's go to the recommendations. 15.1, I'm reading from page 9 of 10, also of the summary of the document. The recommendations 15.1.1, noting of the preliminary assessment of SLCNG's application for the maximum price, gas price for the period 1 July 2026 to 30th June 2027. And then the next one is the approve the publication of the consultation document on preliminary assessment for public comments with confidential information withheld as shown in Annexure A for the period 1 July 2026 to June 2027. By show of hands, members, if we approve those recommendations. Thank you. Thank you, Advocate Sithole. Thank you, Mr. Mkhize, and thank you, Ms. Maseti. I also approve. Thank you very much. Thank you to the team. Let's move then to the next item, ROMCO GTA 1 tariff for the period 1 April 2026 to 30th June 2026. Over to you, presenter.
Thank you. Morning, Chair, members. In front of the committee is ROMCO's GTA 1 monitoring tariff. Chair, this submission is a quarterly submission its purpose is to monitor this tariff in relation with the pipeline agreement. Chair, the submission is in front of the committee as per the delegation matrix, section 3.1 of the delegation matrix. And Chair, another thing that we do in this submission is that we also forecast the tariff itself, the expected tariff for the following quarter. Now, Chair, for this quarter, the price that was charged is 22.09 rand, and we have received pricing data from ROMCO, and the data was assessed in line with the pipeline agreement, and the outcomes are as per table 4. The outcomes are for the test as per table 4, and that, Chair, lastly, and then the outcomes is that ROMCO complied, and they did charge a price of 22.09 as per the adjustment that was required. And then for the following quarter, Chair, the price is expected to increase by 1%. This is as a result of the change in the PPI. Chair, the recommendations are as per number 15. Thanks, Chair.
Thank you. Thank you for the presentation. Members, comments or questions? Any matters of clarity? Okay, I don't see any hands. Let me go straight to read the recommendation. Yes, on 15, it is recommended that the Pipe Gas Committee subcommittee notes the ROMCO GTA 1 tariff of 22.9 per gigajoule for the period 1 April 2026 to 30th June 2026. Mr. Mkhize, your hand is up already.
No, I wanted to have a question. But
okay. No, that's fine. Then you can proceed.
Yeah, because
And-
what I'm
Yeah.
the tax invoices that I'm seeing here, they've got a ROMCO letterhead. I wonder if there's anything coming, or will this suffice as coming from the users, the clients, instead of ROMCO itself? Remember, we always raise the issues of verification to say that should not just rely on the licensee in terms of the information provided. Just want to check on that one.
Okay.
Otherwise,
thanks.
I'm fine with the compliance.
Okay. Thanks, Mr. Machola. You had your hand up also. Okay. Tim, please confirm the issue of invoices being in the name of ROMCO instead of the customers. Over to you.
Yes, Chair. The actual licensee is ROMCO. However, it has been verified as well with one of the shippers who is SASO. So there was there was a verification of the tariff itself, but the licensee is ROMCO. Thanks.
Thank you. Are you sorted, Mr. Mkiza?
Yeah, I'm covered, but that must be clearly articulated. And yes, I understand both an invoice will bear the letterhead of the one who invoices. But in terms of documents coming from the other, or this invoice being provided by the client, that will also be part of, will be seen more, also adding some objectivity to this going forward. Thank you.
Thank you. I think the team got that. They will just include that right up on the document. Thank you. Let's then, if there are no more questions, let's go to the recommendation. I've already started reading it, but let me do it again. It's recommended that the Pipe Gas Subcommittee notes the ROMCO GT1 tariff of 22.9 per gigajoule for the period 1 April 2026 to 30th June 2026. By show of hands, members, if we approve. Thank you, Mr. Mkiza. Other members? Thank you, Advocate Stolle. Thank you, Mr. Machola. I also approve. Thank you very much. Thanks, team. Let's go now to the next item on the agenda, which is item 9, the report on compliance with the license conditions for the operation of gas distribution facilities inspected during the first quarter of 26-27 financial year. Over to you, presenter, high level.
Thank you, Chair. Before the members, yes, is the report on compliance with the license condition for operation of a gas distribution facility inspected during the first quarter of 2026-2027 financial year. The purpose of this submission is to request the Pipe Gas Subcommittee to note the first quarter report on compliance with license conditions in relation to Sasol gas operation of gas distribution facilities in the Duncanville area. During the first quarter inspection, 10 sites were inspected as per the approved plan as shown in table 1, and then there were 5 instances of non-compliance which were observed during the inspection, and then the non-compliance were due to the lack of good housekeeping and overgrown vegetation posing the risk of fire on 6 facilities, lack of corrosion control on 8 facilities, lack of proper maintenance at 1 facility, and then lack of insufficient pipeline markers on 1 facility, and the decommissioned facility without first applying for the approval by NERSA. In response to the mentioned findings, in terms of the standing instruction 1A of the pipe gas delegation matrix, the FTRM primarily responsible for pipe gas will be issuing Sasol gas with a letter of non-compliance, and the letter will direct the licensee to provide reasons why it should not be issued with a notice of non-compliance in terms of certain 2026 of the Gas Act. In addition to the planned first quarter inspection, the compliance team also conducted inspection on Sasol gas decommission facilities that are planned to be removed, abandoned in the 2026-2027 financial year. And 8 sites were inspected. And then of these 8 sites, 5 customers meter stations were never constructed, and licensee representative indicated that customer withdrew from the deal after the facility were included as proposed customers in the licensee's geographic information system, the GIS, and on its customer list. And then 2 inspected decommission facility had the above ground and underground pipeline on site with service valve to the main station in a closed position and the station depressurized. And then the only equipment which were removed was the volume corrector and the meters. And then the other one, there was only one facility that was in the entire infrastructure was removed. The team also inspected the Devon South pipeline in Prospecting in KwaZulu-Natal, which was affected by the 2022 floods and caused washaways. The pipeline has now been restored and buried under the reconstructed canal. Chair, the recommendations are in page 24. Thank you.
Thank you. Members, comments, questions? Yes, CE first, then Mr. Mkhize.
Thanks, Chairperson, and thanks to the presenter. Chair, what is not clear for me, it's the sequencing of the work that has been done, that there's been a compliance monitoring done, and what will logically follow is that there would be a notification to the licensee to correct what has been identified as non-compliance, and also to request them to provide NESA with a plan as to how they're going to address those non-compliance issues identified. And based on that, then we monitor whether there's compliance with the plan before we actually go to the issuance of a compliance notice. Because I heard the presenter saying that they would be requesting that a non-compliance notice be issued. So I just wanted to find out whether we did notify the licensee and there was a plan, and what we are presenting today is aligned to that particular plan to say that there's been a consistent non-compliance from the licensee. So if that can be clarified for me, Chairperson, I will be fine, because I didn't pick it up in the submission. However, I may be directed if I've missed a paragraph that is talking to what I'm asking. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Mr. Mkhize.
Yeah, I think I'm partly covered by what the CEO has said. But I think it would also help, because there are certain standards. Some of the things for example, we've got corrosion. It can depend to the extent of the corrosion, whether it really amounts to non-compliance. And I take it as findings, but maybe to also highlight whether outright non-compliance issues, providing those standards. I know that is indicated as being referred to in the document, in the conditions of license, but it would help to have those standards included somewhere, and also be in a position to indicate if maybe some findings are repeat, if that was done previously. And I think this also provides an opportunity if there is any amendment to the plan, so to keep the focus still on the plan, and then we see it as more of the implementation of the plan. That would be my input in terms of maybe some kind of enhancement. Thank you.
Thank you. From my side, 2 things. The issue of you doing the audit is done, and 6 months earlier. But you are only saying now that the FTRM will issue and inform them of the non-compliance. That's in line with the Gas Act. I don't have a problem with that. to say, just to inform them. But why do we have to wait 6 months? Because the audit was done then. Why don't we inform them? What is stopping us to inform immediately when the audit is finished, rather than now, which is 6 months later, when we present to the structure? So that's the part, and I think I've asked this before in a previous meeting, because I'm not sure why we only issue now, advising them now, 6 months later, because some of the things they were done in March. If I can get clarity on that. I'm aware what the Guest Act says, that they need to be informed. That's not the issue, but it's the time, it's the gap. The second issue is, on your recommendation, you are requesting SASOL to provide you with the follow-up on progress on the repairing of facilities that were affected by the 2022 floods. Obviously, now they should be complete. What was the date that was on their plan? If in 2026, 4 years later, it's actually 4.5 years, they are still in progress. What were the dates, if you still remember them, of the full implementation of those repairs? Thanks. Over to you. Presenter, please respond.
Okay, Chair. Start with this use question, like where she said there was no sequencing of like the letter of non-compliance first issued and then followed by the notice. Actually, we are saying that the FTRM will first issue the non-compliance letter and then requesting the licensee to provide reasons why it should not be issued with a letter of, a notice of condition in terms of Section 26. So we are giving the licensee an opportunity to provide those reasons to the energy regulator. So it is first the letter of non-compliance in terms of the instruction of the what is this? Instruction 1 of the regulatory metrics to the licensee. Then afterwards, if they don't respond to the license, the FTRM's letter, or provide the reasons, then the FTRM or the NESA can now issue notice of non-compliance in terms of Section 26. And then Mr. Mkhize talk about the standard that is not included as a part of the non-compliance. Yes, Mr. Mkhize, the standard actually is included when under the deliberation. I'm just trying to direct you, like you said, I should direct you to where exactly is the standard mentioned that talks about corrosion. There is a standard that is mentioned that talks about corrosion, and then the standard now, it is part of the license condition that we monitor compliance with. So we do mention the standard, Mr. Mkhize. And then, yes, and then the other thing that Mr. Mkhize said, like we should also indicate if the findings are repeated, are they repeating, are being repeated. Yes, we will do so, Mr. Mkhize. In going forward, we will also indicate if these findings that we are observing, if they are being repeated. And I'm not sure about the amendment to the plan, if Mr. Mkhize is referring to the plan that is approved by the PGS, if we need to make an amendment to it. This question here, Mr. Mkhize, I'm not sure about. Maybe you can give me more clarity on that amendment that you're talking about, sir. But I will move to Ms. B's question on the why did it take so long to inform the licensee about the non-compliance. Normally, ma'am, after the inspection, we share with the licensee the license conditions, and then we we tell them that an official letter will be shared to the to SASO in due course. So I believe this letter, ma'am, is being sent out, if I'm not mistaken, by now. Yes, ma'am. I know that the submission that says that like this letter will still be shared, but I think this letter has already went out to the licensee. I think it was last month, and then the other question from Mrs. Bia is about the recommendation regarding like where we're asking like SASO guests to provide information regarding the repaired facility that were affected by the washaways. Ma'am, like there was some outstanding information that the licensee did undertake to provide to the to the energy regulator regarding the Durban South pipeline that was restored and then like also now buried under the canal, the Trussell Canal. But there was some outstanding information that indicated like the plan now they're going to start increasing the pressure now back to normal because the pressure was decreased while the pipeline was still being worked on. So this is the information that you're still waiting for from the licensee to provide, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Yes, my question was that to say, surely it's 4 years later, they should have completed the work. Do you know where that they've completed that work that they were doing? It's 4 years later. And then the second issue, I'm very concerned about the statement you are saying. When you are presenting here, you are saying the letter is still to be issued by the FTRM. But then you are saying it has been issued. So which one is which? Because we need to know the facts here, because it's worrying that you can do the audit in March. And now we are in August, you are asking the licensee to say, please give me reasons for something that you know you've already picked up. That gap it's too long, but you need to correct that. Which is which? Has it been issued or has it not been issued? Let me take Mr. Mkhize and then see.
I note the response, appreciated. Just want to say that the issue is the plan proceeding as originally envisaged? I'm saying that this kind of a submission must provide you with that opportunity, and you need to seize that opportunity just to keep us knowing if everything is on track and if there are any resources or any challenges that are being faced in terms of that plan going to be executed in full, because it's part of the execution of the plan. And when I'm talking of the standard, as I said, I don't have any problem with you indicating which paragraph where this is stated. Don't shy away from that. So when it comes to the standards, as I said, I know that they are in the conditions of license, but I think it will help here to indicate if there any specific standard that is being contravened or violated, and even if maybe there's a particular section that refers to that, it would help. And generally, I would say that in all these matters of non-compliance, there is also, or maybe let me say findings. The gravity of each finding would not be the same, and it helps just one to have a feel, even whilst we are dealing with these findings, to the enormity of the challenge.
Thank you, Mr. Mkhize. Yes, Advocate.
Thank you, Chair, for the opportunity once more. Mine is just a point of enhancement, and I think maybe my contribution is more or less linked to what Mr. Mkhize is saying. And I just want to probably check with the team that in terms of the letter of non-compliance to be issued by the FTRM, do we also request that the licensee must provide us with a plan as to how they are going to address what has been found in the audit process. Because as a regulator, we do need to give the licensee an opportunity to indicate to us as to how they are going to address those particular findings. And so if we are not doing that, my suggestion would be that with the letter of non-compliance issued by FTRM, we also request the licensee to give us the plan. And this links up to what Mr. Mkhize has said. In terms of those findings, the licensee then gets an opportunity of indicating in terms of the gravity of the findings and the resources required to address them, because some of the findings may not require the same resources and they may not require the same timing that we are anticipating. They can provide us with the time as to when are they going to be able to address those. And also, Chair, just to ask the team maybe to not specify a particular finding as they've done in 2.1.3 to say that the follow-up progress on repairing the facilities, because the audit may not only be talking to a finding that relates to the repairs to the findings, it may cover all other issues that came out of the audit. So probably let's just use one terminology, probably saying the progress on the plan that they've provided to address the audit findings. Chair, that was just my contribution to this particular submission. Thank you.
Thank you. We might be late, CE, because Thabang said the letter was issued last month already. That's what he said here. That's why I'm saying he needs to confirm which one is correct. Was it issued, or unlike in the document where it says it's still to be issued? So over to you, Thabang.
Yes, Chair. The letter was issued, ma'am. Yes, it's just like we should have wrote it that way here, like the letter was issued. But normally we kept it in such a way like say like the letter will still be issued, because you may find that the letter is still doing rounds while the submission is already going to the PGS. So hence we phrase it that way. But now, because this submission now is in August, which was the letter was went in July, and it was issued, man. And then with Mr. Mkhize's question, yes, the paragraphs in 7.1.3, it does indicate the standard as an standard B31.8 that talks about like what is that needs to be done by the licensee to ensure that it conforms to the standard, and then in turn then comply with the license condition. Yeah, I'm not sure if I've answered the members all of their questions here.
Okay, members, anyone feels there's a question that hasn't been answered? Okay, let's move then to the resolution. Thanks, team. Oh, yes, Mr. Mkhize.
I did not get clarity. Maybe I missed it. Just, are we on track, or there are some adjustments or any assistance that is required? Thank you. In terms of execution of the...
Thank you, Mr. Mkhize. Yes, Mr. Mkhize, we are in track. If you look at table 1, table 1 is kind of divided in such a way, like it says, like, these are the plan inspection, you start with that one, say plan inspection, and then from there we have the additional one. So we are on track in terms of the approved plan, and then quarterly inspection that we plan to do. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. You sorted, Mr. Mkhize? Thank you.
Sorted.
I see the time. Thank you. 15, the recommendation. It is recommended that the Piped Gas Subcommittee notes the following. The first quarter reports on compliance with license conditions related to Sasol Gas's operation of gas distribution facility in the Duncanville area. 2, a letter of preliminary findings will be sent to Sasol Gas requesting it to provide reasons why NESA should not issue it with a notice of non-compliance for failing to comply with condition 12.4B and regulation 11 of the pipe gas regulations, and condition 16 of the license to operate the gas distribution facility in the Duncanville area. 3, Sasol Gas decommissioned gas transmission facilities in the Prospecting and Umbongitwini areas of the eThekwini Metropolitan Municipality in KwaZulu-Natal. And then lastly, number 4, a follow-up on progress made by Sasol Gas in repairing facilities affected by washaways caused by floods in KwaZulu-Natal in April 2022. By show of hands, if we approve these recommendations and note them. Can we note, members, by show of hands? Thanks, Mr. Mkhize. Thanks, Advocate Tole. I also note this. Thank you very much. Thanks to the team. Let's now move to item 10. Report on developments in new gas sources in South Africa and neighboring countries for the period April to July 2026. Presenter, straight to the point, 5 minutes, and then we take comments or questions. Over to you. So no one is presenting this item.
Chairperson, let me take in Mr. Mtiani is here, is supposed to be leading on this or presenting this. But Chairperson, this is really a report of the just the developments that occurred within the gas market in the first quarter. I think just in terms of the highlights, we'll note that there has been basically the process of the promulgation of the gas bill, of the finalization public hearings on the gas bill. So that's one of the significant highlights that we've noted. But the report then, Chairperson, looks at other projects that are currently underway in terms of LNG projects that are currently under construction. There's the ZTT project in Richards Bay in KZN. There's also another project called the Matola Gas Project in Mozambique that is currently ongoing. And these are important projects, Chairperson, within the whole context of the gas cliff that is currently facing the market. And we are therefore monitoring the progress that is made in relation to this project, so just to make sure that they can be completed on time and that LNG inflows can start flowing within the gas market. So, Chairperson, I think those are, in a nutshell, really at a very high level, the type of developments that occurred within the market. And Chair will note, together with members, that we produce these reports 3 times a year, twice a year, just to indicate what developments are occurring. So the second reports will then deal with any developments that occur within the market in the next quarter. Thank you, Chairperson.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Zwide. Let's take comments and questions, members. Any matters of clarity? Yes, Mr. Mkhize.
Yeah, the report is appreciated as it keeps us informed of developments. And I also appreciate the fact that you also indicate the issues of monetizing the gas or it coming to production. I think it's a very important aspect that considering that there is this lag between I would say gas find and actual production. So that you should always keep that. Don't drop that aspect, because it is important in terms of aligning expectations, both from the project owners as well as the public and those that are looking at the economy in general. I would just like to ask, with regard to 7.21 on page 9 of 47, that Braakfontein phase, where you're looking at compressed natural gas, are you seeing that as an option, or they would, because you are saying that you then move to larger LNG production as a reserve. Are they looking at that as an option at this early stage, or they would be considering maybe tying into the existing network, noting that in the area it may not be very far from the network as such in terms of tying into the transmission lines? Is that a consideration instead of just going the LNG route? That would be my question. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Mkhize. I think from my side, I echo the same sentiments. The document is well written. I think we as the energy regulator need to be aware of all of these developments out there. As you have mentioned, the issue of the gas cliff. And also, you mentioned it, there's a process going now through to Parliament. Hopefully everything is resolved sooner rather than later. And also to look at all of these projects that are being looked at as potential projects in not only here in South Africa and also outside of the country, including SADC countries and also going to Tanzania, etc. And then from my side is to say the involvement of the shareholder will always be critical from a policy perspective, and also engaging politically these countries that have resources. And then the other party is the funders, because the infrastructure, if you need to do the new infrastructure, that needs a lot of funders to be part of this solution that we are crafting here. So that is very critical if all of those can be involved so that we do not have issues when it's time to actually implement. Over to you. You can respond.
Thank you, Chairperson. And I think we do note the comments from members. Maybe to start with the one input from Mr. Mkhize. Mr. Mkhize, indeed, the consideration is to actually make use or to interface with the network in the Mpumalanga area. There is a pipeline that exists that is currently taking MRG and gas from that area. So as soon as the Braakfontein compressed natural gas cluster is finalized, the intention is that they will therefore connect onto the network and basically supply, the area, including internal areas within Gauteng, Free State, and other areas where there's demand currently in existence. I think, Chairperson, yours really is just an input and again, emphasis of the importance of certain things, including really the interface with the policymaker. Thank you very much for that. I think it's noted. And I think those are things that will be kept in mind as we proceed with these reports. Thank you.
Thank you. That was a very good report, straight to the point. Yeah, we need to keep abreast of all of these issues, and hopefully then Parliament will deal with what is required to be dealt with following the comments that have been submitted. Please, over to you.
Thanks. I think just if you can just look at the paragraph then, Mr. Umalo, and amend it accordingly to reflect what you have said concerning the network tie-ins or interconnection. And also, I think that maybe in future reports also do consider the issue of institutional strengthening. Could talk to the issues of developments in terms of maybe, because sometimes in the industry there is some kind of weakening that also comes when you find a lot of acting position at executive level, and if those are filled, I think it's something also to reflect on, because in the energy sector, the issue of institutional strengthening, the intra-African trade becomes important. And I take it that it is an operational matter, but that interface in terms of getting some level of certainty from the department or any government department for as such, especially for if one looks at shale gas. It's been going on and on and on, and I think that probing would help in terms of getting directly from them in terms of what the expectations are in coming to some conclusive end regarding that opportunity instead of being left in the speculation space. Thank you.
Thank you very much. If the team can note that, then let's go to the recommendations. They are on 15. It's recommended that the Pipe Gas Subcommittee notes the following. Number one, the report on developments in the new gas sources in South Africa and neighboring countries for the period April to July 2026. Number two, the potential implications of the gas supply and infrastructure developments in South Africa, Mozambique, Namibia, and Tanzania for South Africa's security of gas supply. And number three, the action plan by the energy regulator regarding the gas sector developments. By show of hands, members, if we note these resolutions. Thank you very much, Mr. Mkhize, Mr. Machola. I also note the recommendations. Thank you to the team. Thank you, Advocate Stolas, your hand. Let's now move to item 11, update on the MRP and risk-free rate calculation for the quarter ended 30th June 2026. High level, and then you take comments and questions. Item 11.
Good afternoon, Chair, colleagues, and members of the public. The purpose of this submission is to request the Pipe Gas Subcommittee to note the risk-free rate and market risk premium, which is attached and marked as Annexure A, and also to note that the updated market risk premium and the risk-free rate will be published on NERSA website. Chairperson, I will touch briefly on the purpose of publishing the MRP and risk-free rate calculation. Chairperson, NERSA publishes the market risk premium and risk-free rate on a quarterly basis to promote consistency, transparency, and alignment in the application of the MRP and RFR across all licensees. Chairperson, I will now take you to Table 2 of the submission. Table 2 provides a comparative analysis of the movements in the MRP and RFR between the current quarter and the preceding quarter. Compared to the previous quarter, both the MRP and the RFR declined. The MRP fell by 7.42%. That is largely reflecting lower returns from the JSE LC Total Return Index, while the risk-free rate decreased marginally by 0.62 due to lower average government bond yields. Chairperson, I will now refer you to paragraph 15, which talk to the recommendation of this submission. I thank you, Chairperson.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Members, comments or questions? This is a process that is done by the team quarterly. Yes, Mr. Mkhize.
Thanks, Chairperson. Just would like to know, I'm just a bit confused by, if you go to page 27 of 34, that line there, that's 0.0497832.8. Can you just explain it a bit, just for my understanding?
Okay, let me see if there are any other hands. No other hands who can respond?
Sorry, Mr. Mkhize, you're saying page what?
Page 27 of 34.
Oh, just 1 second. I'm scrolling to page 27. Sorry, just 1 second.
Can you find it?
Yes, I'm on page 24 now. Yeah.
27 of 34.
Sorry, pardon.
Okay, yes, I'm on page 27 now, yeah? Can you please rephrase the question? Sorry for about the members here. And yeah, sorry.
Mr. Mkhize?
I just wanted to check this 0.049. What does it represent?
Which line is that?
It's a heading. Just
I see it's on column number 3.
Oh,
yeah.
I think it's a word.
Number 3, yeah.
It's a word that was converted to a number.
Yeah, I will check that, Mr. Mkhize, and then I will correct it going forward. Yeah, I'll check that one that takes the piece, yeah, because yeah. I think I missed it when I was doing the calculation, yeah.
No, I think when you were blocking the column, you said everything must be numbers. There's a word that sits there because it converts it when you're using Excel into a number. When you say this whole column must be numbers, something that you did there. If you can, yeah, correct it, yeah.
And if you may please, and if you may please just consider maybe changing the layout so that it's easier to read and understand maybe from portrait to landscape. Thank you.
Okay. You got that.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Subject to the change and confirmation of the name of the document members, can we note this calculation? Recommendation is on 15. It says it is recommended that the pipe gas subcommittee notes the updated risk-free rate and the market risk premium for the quarter ended 30 June 2026. And the market risk premium and the risk-free premium for the quarter ended 30 June will be published on the NESA website. That is usually not a resolution. The resolution is the approval. Yeah, so over to you, members, by show of hands, if we approve the if we note the resolution. Thank you, Mr. Mkhize. I also note, thank you, Advocate Tolle. Thank you very much. Let's move then to, thanks to the team. Item 12, assessment of ROMCO's transmission tariff application for pipe gas GTA 3 volumes for the period 1 July to 30 June 2029, 1 July 2026 to 30th June 2029. Over to you, presenter, item 12.
Good afternoon, Chair, members and colleagues. The purpose of this submission is to request the PGS to recommend to the energy regulator to approve the ROMCO transmission multi-year tariff application for the period FY27 to FY29 as shown in table 1 on page 2, and the application of the reasons for decision of the ROMCO tariff application with the confidential information withheld. Chair, this application was received on the 26th of February 2026. ROMCO submitted this application for loop line 2 volumes for the period 1 July 2026 to 30 June 2029. However, due to the fact that ROMCO's current license is set to expire on 25 March 2029, this assessment is limited to the period of the license validity. Chair, ROMCO is requesting the approval of a real average tariff of 64 Rand and 68 cents per gigajoule for the period 1 July 2026 to 30 June 2027, and is also requesting a tariff structuring that has resulted in a real maximum tariff of 75 Rand and 14 cents per gigajoule from 1 July 2026 to 30 June 2027. This maximum tariff will only be charged on volumes as indicated on page 3 on paragraph 4.4.2. Chair, the other request is that these tariffs should be indexed using a CPI over the 3-year period. Chair, on table 3 on page 5 of the submission, it shows the levelized tariff method used to determine the baseline tariff for FY 2016 to 2017, from which a CPI is applied to this tariff from FY 27 to FY 2026 to determine the real average tariff of 64 Rand and 68 cents per gigajoule for the period 1 July 2026 to 30 June 2027. Chair, for the purpose of the tariff structuring, table 6 on page 7 shows the calculation of the average tariff of 24 Rand and 13 cents per gigajoule, which is influenced by GTA 1 and GTA 2 tariff revenues and volumes, as shown on table 4 and 5 on pages 6 and 7 respectively. Chair, taking the above into consideration, table 9 on page 8 shows the calculation of the structured tariff, also referred to as the real maximum tariff of 75 Rand and 14 cents per gigajoule, to be charged to the said customers as outlined on table 9. It is clear from table 8 and 9 that the real maximum tariff of 75 Rand and 14 cents per gigajoule is calculated by subtracting from the revenue still to be recovered under this current tariff of loop line 2, the revenues recovered from the second and third shipper. Chair, after assessing this application, we note that on table 10, on page 10, it shows the comparison between NERSA and ROMCO's calculated tariffs. Chair, the ROMCO tariffs are 9.33% higher than the NERSA tariffs. Chair, the reason for this is the difference, or the reason for the difference in the calculation is the volumes applied by NERSA compared to ROMCO. Chair, NERSA also noted that in this current application, ROMCO has tried to transfer volume risk to customers, as ROMCO, when at the inception of this loop line 2 tariff, had stated that the main customer, as outlined in paragraph 4.26 on page 10, will ship a minimum of 7.8 million gigajoules per annum, and that this is backed by a take-or-pay contract. And therefore, Chair, any additional volumes from the second and third shipper would be added to this a minimum volumes of 7.8 million gigajoules. Chair, in this current application, ROMCO changed its stance in the end and used a volumes of 6.2 million gigajoules as the volumes to be transported by the main shipper, and a total volumes of 7.8 million gigajoules. And therefore, this is the main reason between the NERSA and ROMCO calculation difference. And Chair, approving the ROMCO tariffs would lead to inflated tariffs, even though the tariff is within the 10% benchmark that NERSA normally uses when approving tariffs. Chair, on table 11, on page 11, it highlights the comments raised by the FTRM on the transfer of volume risk to customers. NERSA has provided responses on ways that it has implemented to mitigate this risk of volume transfer, of volume risk transfer. Chair, NERSA also noted during the assessment that ROMCO over-recovered in the 3 years from FY 24 to FY 26. This amount has been clawed back from the remaining revenues for FY 26 to FY 29. It is therefore recommended that, Chair, that the NERSA, as opposed to the ROMCO tariffs, be approved, as shown in table 12 on page 13. Therefore, Chair, it is recommended that the recommendations, Chair, are on paragraph 15 on page 13 of this submission. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you. Members, Comments or questions? Matters of clarity? The team is ready for you. Yes, Ms. Maseti.
Chairperson, thank you very much for the opportunity, and thanks, Mr. Ngobeni. Chairperson, I've raised the concerns even during the post-hearing on this matter. There are inherent risks that we need to deal with at this point in time. Firstly, is the over-recovery, if you look at that table. Now, you will see simply because we have powers to approve, what some licensees were doing is that knowing that NERSA would, the trigger for us to send the application back is if it gets to 10%. Then we will send it back for amendment. Now, what licensees do, they still over-recover. In this case, then over 9%, which is close to that 10%, that 9% over-recovery is not insignificant. It is problematic if we approve the ROMCO tariff as is. And therefore, we will obviously make the transportation of gas from Mozambique to South Africa expensive to start off with, and it's actually just wrong. So that's the one thing that we must deal with. That's the first thing. And then the second thing is that you will note again, in terms of the volumes, ROMCO has not made any endeavors to increase the throughput, simply because at one point NERSA adopted the risk-sharing principle because ROMCO invested in this specific asset for 24 million gigajoules, yet it only operates at about 7.8 million gigajoules. That's the minimum. Then years later, we accepted that minimum, hoping that they will increase. Now it means that they are able to recover their capital and returns on capital. Yet consumers are not benefiting from that asset and the capacity that was created. And that capacity that was created, which is not even at 50% utilization, it's only at 68% utilization, sorry, at 32 to 34% utilization. That's very low, 32% utilization. Yet we allowed them to recover the capital, but customers are not benefiting. The other thing that is affecting the small volumes now from 7.8, which at some point it went to 10, is because of the gas cliff. Now, they know that on this one, there's a tempering with how much volumes you allocate, because the lower the volumes, the higher the tariff. So instead of reducing from the 120 million gigajoules, they reduce on this one. So you are already seeing the effects of the gas cliff. If it's a natural occurrence that is not caused by customers, why should this be the customer's burden to pay for the gas cliff and for capacity that is not utilized, that is sitting there, and the tariff is high? So those are the problems that we are having here. And there's going to be sort of a stranded asset here if this, especially in 2028, mid-2028. So what are we going to do? Because customers cannot pay for that. So those are the things that we strategically need to deal with. So the other thing that I said I'm going to sort of bring to the attention of the committee is that, yes, there's a difference if you look at the table. The difference between what we calculated, even if we use the minimum, and we're not asking for much, the minimum. And even on that, ROMCO is reducing it to 6. Now, on that minimum, if we approve the tariffs to say, okay, let's put it back to that minimum of 7.8 at least, you will see the difference is huge. So if we approve it today, for instance, will that not risk our powers of approving? what is applied for. I know that we do have the powers to approve. So I had those two things, but to just keep the application in the division and not bring it to the members, time is running out. It also causes regulatory uncertainty, delayed decisions. So this is the aspect that I thought is very critical for members to give due consideration and deliberate on it. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Mr. Mkhize.
Thanks, Chair. Thanks to the presenter. I'm just concerned on a procedural matter on one aspect. You know, I look at I think I'm just having a challenge with my instrument here to get to the exact page. You know, I don't think that such a submission should have input by FTRM highlighted as such, because we take it that the whole document does have inputs by the FTRM. If the team refuses to include that input, then it's a problem, and it should be dealt with at an administrative level, because we take it that here there is a signature of the FTRM who has then also given inputs to the team, guided the team prior to it being presented here. So may we not do this, because for me it could be precedent setting and get us into problems in future. And I also like to say, since I've heard what my colleague has just highlighted, is that we need to strictly go according to what is the law permits us to do in terms of our framework, and including the methodology as far as this applicant is also concerned. Because the rules, regulations, and mechanisms that we apply are binding both ways, and I think those things that are problematic, like even the stakeholders highlighted the issue of volume risk, how to deal with it, that we then need to deal with it by way of reviewing the methodology itself, or what should be applicable here, and then be able to then go back to apply it once it has been factored in the revised methodology, so to don't get ourselves in a situation where we take a decision that cannot stand to legal scrutiny down the line. And I think just highlighting those things and taking steps to cure that. And I think that with this applicant in particular, we also need to be able to kind of link it with the strategy to deal with the gas cliff that is pending. Thank you.
Thank you. Yes, Advocate Stolle.
Thank you, Chairperson. Chair, on the point highlighted by Mr. Mkhize, I just want to re-emphasize it, that in terms of the committee meeting, we are here to make a decision and consider rather the recommendations from the team, which should include the FTRM's input. And we cannot be sitting here and be considering the FTRM's input and that of the team. If there is no agreement on this, I don't think that as a committee we'll be able to make a decision on this. We need to get a submission that includes both the views and not to be discussing it at this level. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you. From my side, team, let me start here. The volume issue was a huge issue even when we had the public hearing. I wanted to find out from the team, is there any way that the volumes can be verified, or we did an assessment on that, because it affects the price? It moves the price, because the lower the volumes, then the price goes up. So the maximum price goes up. So that work around volumes, we really need to assure everyone that we have satisfied ourselves that those are the volumes. Then let me go to the issue of the difference of 9%. This thing has to stop. It's been going on for years. For years. I agree with Ms. Massetti with what he's saying, that as soon as people know what your threshold is, the acceptance one, they will play around with it. I'm not saying it's happening here, but if it is official, it is concerning that it's all these, I think, last 6-7 years, it's bumping around 9.2, 9.1. Something is not correct on this. The third issue, I've mentioned earlier when we were discussing the other ones, the other maximum price, that even though there was a difference, I think of 1% or 2%, the risk was lower because the NESA maximum price was higher than what the customer is, the licensee is proposing. In this case, it's a huge risk because the licensee's one is higher and NESA's one is lower, which then results in them having a full year with this revenue. And then we only come more than a year later with a clawback. So that is where my discomfort is at on the issue. And then lastly, I agree with the team that I think we need to have a way within NESA, whenever they're in the area, whether it's gas or pipe gas or petroleum or electricity, the FTRM responsible when the document comes here, it needs to incorporate the decisions or everyone's input within the division. Because when we see the signature of the FTRM, we are saying the FTRM is tabling this to the committee, and that is what everyone in that division or department stands for, and come here to this structure of the board and say, we as the team, this is what we're proposing. We can't have two separate views on the matter. Until it is resolved, there needs to be a level where you kick each other until one gives up or you meet halfway. We do understand that there are legislated timelines that we have to comply with, but that needs to be taken into consideration also. So I think we need to really find a way of working around it. If it's electricity, I'm expecting that Majola will be here with the team behind him. Same with gas, same with petroleum. Yeah, we cannot then get into say we are agreeing with that team and with that team. From a governance perspective, it cannot work like that. Tim, please respond so that we can resolve.
Chairperson, thank you very much. Perhaps let's start with the issue of having a table indicating inputs as inputs from FTRM. Chair, we want to confirm that there is no disagreement between us and the FTRM. We are really very much aligned. The reasons why we included that table was for the purposes of emphasis. We wanted to show to the FTRM how we have incorporated her inputs into the document. So we will correct it. We do apologize for putting it like that. We now realize that perhaps it was not a prudent way of handling the matter, but there is no disagreement between us and the FTRM. I want to ask Mr. Godora to come in to respond to the issue of the over-recovery, how we have dealt with and the results of that issue. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Chair. Chair, I think the first issue that was raised is, do we verify the volumes that are used in these calculations? Yes, the answer is yes, Chair. We conduct an audit at the end of every financial year. And that audit verifies the volumes for us. The issue we had with this application, Chair, was that ROMCO's main shipper or client has a take or pay for a fixed volume or for a certain figure of volume. So when we calculate the tariff, we expect that take or pay volume to be the one that is used by the shipper as a base, and any other volume that is on from any other shipper is added on top of that take or pay volume. The reason, Chair, why we have an issue with this application is that we have approved, I think, 3 or 4 tariffs of ROMCO before, and they have consistently used the 7.8 million, which is the take or pay volume. It is only in this application that they've used a lower figure from the ship or pay volume. And that is where we raised issues with ROMCO. We had back and forth, and we had several meetings with them. But the issue remains that they did not come back with a change or with at least a reviewed application to say we will continue using our take or pay volume. So that lower volume, when compared to the volume we used as NESA, leads to a slightly higher price on the part of ROMCO, like a slightly higher tariff. And it is why we are recommending that in this instance, let's approve the NESA calculation and not the ROMCO calculation, because we don't want to allow a slight over recovery purely based on volume, Chair. And I think I'll stop here for now. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, but Mr. Kotoro, take or pay, that's the minimum. It is a minimum. You cannot go below a minimum, but you can go above the minimum. So there can never be a situation where you actually plan or you put volume that are less than the minimum as per the contract. That one, I agree with you, team, that there can never be a calculation with a volume that is less than the minimum. But have you looked before, when you look at the numbers, where there are situations where, yes, there is a minimum set there, which is take or pay, where their volumes were even higher than that minimum? Do we have that situation?
Yes, Chair. We in the sense that the take or pay is for one client. So if there's another shipper, like for this instance, there is Kwande, which is an additional shipper, and there is Sasol South Africa, which is not Sasol Gas. So we treat it as a different shipper to Sasol Gas. So there are additional shippers whose volumes add on to the take or pay volumes share.
Yeah.
So in that is the crux of the difference. And our FTRM was saying, or the guidance we received was that there was a volume risk issue we raised when the tariff was being, when it was first brought to us. The tariff was, or the pipeline was only going to be used 33% of its capacity. And the PGS raised concerns to say, if you plan to use an asset for its entire life, you only want to use 33% of it. Why are you overspeccing it? Why are you building such a large pipe only to use 33%? And at that point, there was a request to share that risk of the overcapacity between the pipeline investor and the customer, in the sense that we would defer an amount that was used in the in the capital of the assets. So it's like you are underspecking the pipe only on the papers because you're now using a lower value than the one that they would have actually spent as the RAB amount. And then as we progressed, I think that was the first decision we made. In the second iteration of approving the tariff, ROMCO then came and said, we have now used up more volume. It's no more 33%. It has at least moved to 48 to almost 50% of the pipe. And NESA accepted to say, okay, if it has moved up to at least 48%, we will now accept the full value of your capital. And all along, that is how we have been approving it, where we take that capital amount and certain volumes that they were approving. The only issue we want, or the main issue that has led us to this discussion today, Chair, is because ROMCO has reneged on the things it has presented to us several times, and now saying, we are not going to transport 7.8, despite it being a take or pay, it's going to reduce. So I think I'm over elaborating, Chair.
Okay.
I apologize.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you. FTRM, I think we need to close on this matter now. Ms. Makota has recommended that and also we have recommended also here from the members their views that let the matter go back and you all align, and then it comes back to us here as one team, and then we talk about it. Yes, we do understand the regulatory timelines, but yeah, I think we need to make sure that we cross the T's and dot the I's so that we don't have any legal implications coming from this. We need to make sure that it's done properly, but also taking into account the timelines. Any comment from your side? Ms. Massetti? Oh, she's gone.
I think she's gone.
Okay. Yes, Advocate, so we need to make a decision now.
Yes, Chairperson. Chair, as a cautionary measure, what Mr. Kotora has said, in addition to your proposal of taking the submission back, is that when we are faced with a legal matter in court to say that let's disclose the documents that we based our decision on, what he's saying may not necessarily be properly captured by the secretary. So hence the need to have the submission taken back, and we cover all the points that he has also verbally mentioned, such that when we discover the document in a legal proceeding, it covers all the points. So there may be really a missing of adding what he's saying now, because it will be recorded in the minutes and not in the submission that is going to be discovered. So I would want to emphasize that, Chairperson, such that we cover ourselves in legal proceedings. Otherwise, we may miss what is recorded in minutes and what is going to be discovered in the actual submission. So sending it back, it's not that we do not support some of the points made, but let's have a comprehensive submission. And that comprehensive submission, if one reads it, it should be such that a person that reads it has no background on the information that was presented to the committee and that led to the decision. Chair, that's just my cautionary measure. Thank you so much.
Thank you. I'm not going to repeat what you've said. Ms. Makota, you had the resolution of the committee. Let this matter go back, and you will take care of all of these concerns that have been raised, and then you will come back to the committee. You will talk to the secretariat about the how, but make sure we deal with all the legal aspects, the procedural aspects according to the Act. We'll leave that with you to manage. So members can, by show of hands, confirm that we say the matter is taken back to the team. Members, by show of hands. Thank you. I see your hand, Advocate Sitole. Who else? Other members? Thank you, Mr. Majola. I also confirm. Yes, Ms. Massetti, I see your hand. Thank you very much. Let's move then to the next item. which is the final assessment, item 13.
Item 13, ma'am.
Yes, of Transnet's multi-year tariff application for the Lily Pipe gas transmission facility for the period 26-27, 27-28, and 28-29 financial years. High level, 5 minutes, and then we take comments or questions.
Thank you, Chair. I'll take the members through the submission. Chair, this is a final assessment of Transnet's multi application for the tariff application for the Lily pipeline for the period FY 27 all the way to FY 29. Chair, the purpose of the submission is to request the subcommittee to recommend to the energy regulator the approval of the draft decision. To also note the draft decision itself. Now, Chair, with regards to the submission being in front of the committee, this is delegated to the committee in line with section 2.2. And then, Chair, the submission was received by NERSA on the 12th of December, and the application was initially assessed in terms of the Gas Act, the tariff guidelines, and MERTA. Following the initial assessment, Chair, NERSA engaged with Transnet over the major tariff drivers, and on the 11th of February, NERSA requested further information regarding the cost center rationalization project, also with regards to the clawback calculations and decommissioning evaluation information. And further engagements also took place on the 20th of February regarding time value of money issues and calculations. Now, Chair, subsequently, additional information was submitted by Transnet. The clawback information was submitted on the 3rd of March, and also there's decommissioning information that was submitted on the 4th of March. And there was some comprehensive information regarding the cost center rationalization project that we did receive on the 1st of April. And now, Chair, you'd recall that in the initial assessment that NERSA did, there were concerns regarding the original application. And the major concern here was relating to the cost center rationalization project with regards to OPEX. And also, there was also a REB issues that we had pertaining to certain capital additions, and also with regards to elements of the clawback calculations. The preliminary assessment was considered by PGS on the 20th of May, and the discussion document was published on the NERSA website on the 25th of May, and notices and adverts were advertised across numerous newspapers, including the Cape Times, the Star, the Mercury, amongst others. This was done the 22nd of May. And written comments were requested to be due by 19th of June. Chair, no written comments were received, and also there was no public hearing, as there was no oral representation requests that were made. Chair, on the 22nd of May, Transnet sent NERSA a revised schedule which removed the cost center rationalization expenditure, and also we also received technical information that justified inspections, refurbishments on the project, and also regarding from the justification of the REB. This was taken into account into the application then, which actually showed a reduction in the allowable revenue from 242 million to 177 million. This translated to a tariff of 11.34 rands per gigajoules in year one of the application, 11.40 to year two, and 11.84 to in year three. And Chair, after this amendment, the differences between the Transnet calculations and the NESA calculation were within 1.5%. Chair, with that being said, we recommend the recommendations are as per number 15. Thanks, Chair.
Thank you, members. Questions, matters of clarity, comments? Okay, I don't see any hands. Let me go to the recommendation. On 15, it's recommended that PGS recommends to ER the Transnet revised multi-year transmission tariff application for 26-27, 28-27-28, and 28-29 financial years. The applicable rates are noted there. Decision 2 is that these tariffs are exclusive of VAT. Number 3, discounts are allowed and must be applied in accordance with the non-discrimination provisions of Section 22 of the Gas Act of 2001. Number 4, the approved tariffs will remain in force until the date the energy regulator approves another tariff. And then number 5, it is the publication of the decision of Transnet's multi-year tariff application for the period 26-27, 28-29, and 28-29 tariff years. By show of hands, if we approve, members, if we recommend to the ER for approval. Thank you, Mr. Majola. Thank you, Advocate Sitole. I approve. Thank you. Let's move. Thank you to the team. Now we are on item 14. Sasol gas application for a maximum price of gas for the period of 2027 to 2030. Over to you, presenter.
Thanks, Chair. I'll take members through this application as well.
Please, 5 minutes. 5
yes,
minutes.
Chair. Chair, this is a final assessment also of the Sasol gas application for the approval of the maximum price of gas for the period FY26 all the way to FY30. Chair, the submission is in front of the committee as per delegated by the delegation matrix section as per section 2.5 of the delegation matrix. Chair, the application was received by the regulator on the 4th of February, and actual figures were received on the 16th of April. The application is mainly driven by material transition within the South African part gas market. Sasol submits, Chair, that the Mozambican national gas supply is declining, and that LNG is unlikely to be available before approximately 2030, and that MRG is proposed as an interim bridge solution. Chair, Sasol further submits that the MRG is voluntary and that Chair, it's not obligated to and that it's not obligated to make the bridge available to external customers, and that implementation is dependent on regulatory certainty and also continued customer demand. Chair, NERSA processed the application in accordance with the Gas Act and also the maximum price methodology. And also the applicable administrative fairness laws. And a consultation process was undertaken, which includes public participation and consultation. And in the 22nd of June, stakeholders, there was a public hearing, and stakeholders, including the IGUA, SLG, and also Igoli Gas, they raise such concerns such as affordability, related party pricing regarding MRG, distinctions between the current MRG or the existing MRG, and also the MRG bridge. Issues such as double recovery, trader competitiveness, quarterly adjustments, and legal basis for approving prices beyond the current adequacy of competition were raised. Chair, the assessment was further informed by NERSA's legal opinion from senior counsel that NERSA sought. And that the legal position was that, in a nutshell, that the contractual acquisition cost between Sasol Gas and its supplier is a methodological starting point, and that NERSA is required is not necessarily required to accept resulting maximum prices mechanically, and that where evidence shows risk in terms of double recovery, circularity issues, as well as party-related pricing concerns, those needs to be adjusted by the regulator, Chair. Now, Chair, it is on this basis, Chair, that a recalculated Q1 price for FY27 was calculated, and the outcomes of the price, NERSA recalculated the price to be 97 Rand, 0.31 rands per gigajoules, compared to Sasol's 102 price, Chair. And the maximum price to traders and resellers was calculated to be 92.44. That is after applying the 5% reseller. Now, Chair, the main regulatory adjustment that was done, Chair, was the adjustment of duplicate returns from the trading cost perspective, and also removal of profit components from MRG, and also from a double recovery perspective and fuel gas circularity issues, Chair. And then, Chair, when we see that, Chair, that this approach is more it preserves cost recovery for Sasol, while at the same time it protects consumers against unjustified margin coverage. Chair, therefore, we recommend, we also did not recommend a full 4-year price path at this stage, Chair, as given it was advised by legal counsel that any approval post 2028 would be subject to legal risk. So the recommendation was up until 30 June 2028, and that post this period, Chair, the FY 29 to 30 components will be deferred pending completion of an adequacy of competition determination. And so, Chair, in a nutshell, our recommendations is on number 15. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you. Can you read those recommendations? You'll read them later. Yeah, it's 2 pages. But yeah, they are noted there. Members, any comments or questions? The legal person, is he or she present here? Should members have comments or questions? Or are you going to take those questions? While he's thinking, members, by show of hands, if you've got questions or matters of clarity. Yes, start.
Oops, I muted. Thanks for the opportunity and thanks to the presenter. Chair, mine, it's not really a comment on the submission, but just an enhancement that needs to be made in terms of the table on page 24. My understanding is that we do not really need to mention the members that have raised questions or issues of clarity. Rather, let's delete that particular column. And the second column, we just says questions, issues of clarity raised by the members. And then on the next column, we indicate the summary of responses. I'm not sure when we say summary of SASOL responses, whether it's SASOL responding or is it NESA's responses based on the issues that would have been raised. And it will also help to also indicate where these issues have been addressed in the paragraph or in the RFD. Thank you, Chair. As I said, it's a point for enhancing our submission. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Mkhize.
Thanks, Chairperson. I just want to check in whose remit is it to do that petition analysis. I'm saying this because we say pending, and if that's to be done by us, it would be more categorical in terms of when we say that to happen, and also how come we got up particular. That will be all from my side. Thank you.
Thank you. You can respond.
Thank you. I think we will respond. Thanks.
Thank you, Chairperson, and good afternoon, everybody. Chairperson, I did not get all of Mr. Mkhize's comments, but I think there were some connectivity issues maybe on my side. But what I did hear was that Mr. Mkhize asked when we will then be conducting the competition assessment, and the answer is that we will be initiating that process immediately, Chairperson, with a consultation document that will be coming to the next PGS. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you. Have you answered all questions?
Oh, thank you, Chair. The other question, Chair, was for enhancements. We will remove the members' names there, Chair, and then the RFD will deal with all the actual responses to also the issues, Chair. At the moment, it's the cover submission, so the RFD will come in the following meeting. Thanks, Chair.
Okay, so you're saying the RFD will come at the next meeting?
Yes, it will follow post the decision, Chair. They were not brought together. Thanks, Chair.
I wanted to confirm, we don't want it to come a year from now. So it will follow because it needs to be very close to a decision because we don't want to create out there that there is something else. So once the decision is made, immediately thereafter the RFD needs to go outside. Yeah. the reasons for decision. Okay. Please, your hand is up.
I might have read things wrongly, but the indication is that we will have this analysis done and then finalize this. I just want to get the order of or the chronology of events so that we put a time that is achievable. Thank you.
Thank you. Please respond, Tim.
Yes, Chair. Chair, what will happen is that, Chair, given the legal opinion that we had received, our competition assessment is up until FY 28. So the current approval ends at 2028. What we will be doing now, we'll do another competition assessment, which will take into consideration the following period. So the decision for the rest of the application will be deferred up until such time that process is completed. So the decision that has been sought now is up until 2028 as per recommendation by Senior Counsel. Thank you, Chair.
Okay. Are you sorted, Mkhize?
Yeah, I'm covered, sort of, but my challenge was that I thought when you've got a multi-year application, you take decision and then you've got reopeners. That issue of a competition, if there's no longer any challenge in that regard, when the analysis comes out, then you take another case, then it becomes a reopener. I don't know if my understanding is correct in terms of reopeners for this. Thank you.
Thank you. I think the team have confirmed that. I think they got it from the legal opinion they have. It can be another option, or you go for a reopener as long as both of them achieve the same thing. Can you confirm, team, both of them achieve the same thing, that we are not tied to any price at any specific time? Both of them, in my view, address the same thing. Yes, Ms. Makot.
Thank you, Chairperson. In terms of the legal opinion that we have received, we were informed that NERSA has no mandate to determine the maximum prices for FY29 and FY30 because that maximum price has not met a prerequisite for having a competition determination. So it is for this reason that we are proposing that the period for the multi-year be split into two. The FY26 up until FY28, that is where the NERSA has done a determination on competition assessment. And then the other period for FY29 to FY30 will be not be made a decision on that one, which is why we're asking that NERSA rather defers because there is no mandate on that one. Perhaps we can ask our EM to explain the legal reasoning behind that, Chairperson.
All right. Thank you, Ms. Makota. I think, members, in a nutshell, what the legal opinion said is that NERSA's mandate, in as far as the approval of maximum prices, rests in Section 21(1)(p). And what that section says is that before NERSA can approve maximum prices, there needs to have been a determination regarding the state of competition within the gas industry. And that determination needs to have pointed to the fact that competition remains inadequate within the market. So the determination that was made by NERSA was in 2005, and it's applicable up until 2028 and not beyond 2028. And for that reason, therefore, Senior Counsel advised that given the linkage between that determination that establishes NERSA's jurisdiction in as far as approval of maximum prices is concerned, NERSA only has a mandate, can only approve this maximum price application until 2028. And once the other part of the determination has been done with regard to 2930, then that part can then be dealt with separately in terms of just, approval of the maximum price in as far as those 2 years are related. So that's in a nutshell, Chairperson, the reason behind the legal opinion. Thanks.
Thank you very, very much. Mr. Mkhize, are you covered? I'm covered on my side.
I note the response.
But,
I note the response, but I'm not necessarily in full agreement with the stance. Thanks.
Thank you. I think let's let the team look at this, because we have the legal opinion, and we have 2028, I think. And if we can proceed, then the recommendations are on 2 pages. From 14.1 to 14.11. Can you please quickly read them, Dumsang, for the record, so that members can be aware of them?
Thank you, Chair.
Members, let's vote.
The recommendations are to request the Pipe Gas
The
Subcommittee.
team are not aligned with reading this.
Sorry,
14.1 to 14.11. We have that's what I think I'm spoken about.
Sorry, Miss Bia, we are breaking, ma'am.
Okay.
You are still inaudible.
Can you hear me?
We hear you for a little bit, ma'am, and then you break.
Chair, should we perhaps
Yeah, I'm sure my
assist
network is not.
Can we assist by reading into the record the recommendations, starting from 14.1?
Please continue and read.
Right. Thank you, Chairperson. I think the first recommendation, the 14.1, is to...
Please continue.
Okay. 14.1 Chairperson reads as follows. To request the Pipe Gas Subcommittee to recommend to the energy regulator to 1. Defer consideration of social gases application for approval of the maximum prices for the periods 1st July 28 to 30 June 2029, which is financial year 29, and 1st July 29 to 30 June 2030, which is financial year 30, pending the completion of the competition assessment that is going to be done with respect to those 2 years. Now, 14.3 reads to approve the maximum price of gas for end users, customers for Q1 as shown in Table 1 below for the period 1st July 2026 to 30 September 2026. And those figures for the figure for the maximum price for that quarter is stated under Table number 2 of the decision, and that is 97.31 for the record. Then the decision then proceeds to say in 14.4 to approve the maximum price of gas, which includes a minimum of 5%, which is a discount. This will be now for traders and resellers for Q1 as shown in Table 2. And that figure is 92 rands, 44 rands for the record. The decision proceeds in 14.5 to say approval of the quarterly adjustment of the maximum price with a 3-month lag in its implementation until 30 June 2028. 14.6, to approve that Sosogas must, before implementing any quarterly adjustments, submit all necessary information and supporting calculations to enable NERSA to verify the economic basis of the adjustment and confirm compliance with the approved adjustment mechanism. And then 14.7 says to approve that no amendments, substitution, replacement, or introduction of any disclosed source of gas used in source of gases acquisition of cost calculations for the quarterly adjustments shall be permitted without prior written request by source of gas and the written approval by the energy regulator. 14.8, to approve that where the application of the approved quarterly adjustment mechanism would result in an increase of more than 10% in the approved maximum gas price in any quarter, source of gas shall not implement such adjustment unless that adjustment has been approved by the energy regulator. 14.9 is to approve that the approved maximum price is exclusive of VAT. And 14.10 to approve that the date of the energy regulator's decision on the matter becomes the effective date of the maximum price for monitoring purposes, and that maximum price will remain effective until the date of approval of another maximum price by the energy regulator. And lastly, Chairperson, to approve that the licensee is required to apply for the next maximum price not more than 4 months before the expiry of the currently approved maximum price application. Chairperson, that is the resolution or the recommendation in a nutshell. Thank you.
Thank you. Can you hear me now?
Loud and clear, Chairperson.
Okay. Thank you.
Yes, we can, ma'am. Yes, we can.
Thank you very much. Yeah. They are the recommendations, members. Can we, by show of hands, indicate our approval or non-approval? Thank you, Mr. Majola. Other members? Thank you, Advocate Sitole. Mr. Mkize?
Abstain.
Sorry?
Abstain, because I think a more progressive approach would be to approve subject to, and it becomes there's more certainty around that, and the issue of the analysis report becomes a condition to reopen in the same vein that we're putting that 10% variance to make it a reopener. Thank you.
Okay. So, Secretariat, the members enough for the approval with Mr. Mkize abstaining?
Yes, Ms. Bia. We have
okay.
3. Yeah, we do have quorum on the decision, ma'am. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you. Please note Mr. Mkize's decision. Okay, thank you. Thank you to the team. Let's go to item 15, preliminary assessment of SLG Pty Limited's application for a maximum price of gas for the period 1 July 2026 to 30th June 2027. Over to you, high level, 5 minutes.
Thank you, Chairperson. Good afternoon, Chairperson and members and colleagues. I'd like to present SLG maximum price application for the period 1 July 2026 to 30 June 2027. SLG is applying for a maximum price of 170.13 per gigajoule for traders and 183.24 gigajoule for end users. The components of the maximum price are outlined in Table 1. Table 2 outlines the calculation of the weighted average cost of gas. Maximum SLG is also applying for trading cost of 22.63 rand. We've analyzed the application In terms of the methodology, the cost plus methodology, we've analyzed in terms of when we're calculating the trading cost, we're analyzing it in terms of allowable revenue, where we also analyze all the items in terms of prudence costs, in terms of tariff guidelines. Having done all of that, the difference between NESA and SLG came down to 0.84%. We recommended in paragraph 15 that PGS notes the preliminary assessment and approves the publication of the discussion document on preliminary assessment. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you. Members, comments, questions? Matters of clarity? I don't see any hands, and the team have read the recommendations. By show of hands, members, if you approve the recommendation, they were read out. Is to note the preliminary assessment and also the. Thank you. I see the hands from all the members. Thank you. It's approved. No, it's noted here. How is it approval?
You note the preliminary assessment and approve the publication, Madam.
Yes, no, thanks. Yeah, it's just that Convene is performing now. I don't know why. It's just hanging. Thank you, team. Let's move then to Egoli Gas. Preliminary assessment of Egoli Gas as maximum price application for the period 1 March 2026 to 28 Feb 2027. Over to you.
Thank you. Thank you, Chair. Good afternoon, Chair, members and colleagues. The purpose of this submission is to request the PGS to note the discussion document on Egoli Gas's application for a maximum gas price for the period 1 March 2026 to 28 February 2027, and also approve the publication of the discussion document for public comment. Chair, the application was received on the 20th of May 2026 from Egoli Gas for a maximum price of piped gas for the period 1 March 2026 to 28 February 2027. Table 1 on page 3 summarizes the calculation of the maximum gas price for end user customers of 148 Rand and 67 cents per gigajoule. Table 2 on page 4 summarizes the calculation of the maximum gas price for resellers of 141 Rand and 24 cents per gigajoule. Chair, tables 3 and 4 on page on page 4 provides a comparison of the between NESA's preliminary assessment and Egoli Gas's application for end user and resellers respectively. Chair, the difference of 1.91% is due to the WACC and tax calculation. Chair, the difference in the WACC is due to the beta used by Egoli Gas being sourced from the S&P IQ database, whilst NESA used the prescribed Bloomberg as a source. And Egoli Gas also then calculated or estimated the tax expense using the accounting income, whilst NESA used the flow-through tax approach when determining the forecasted tax expenses. Chair, the overall difference is less than 10%, and NESA can then preliminarily accept Egoli Gas's maximum gas price application. Chair, the recommendations are on page 8 on paragraph 15. Thank you, Chair.
Please read them, the recommendations.
Okay, 1 second, Chair.
Chairperson, maybe I can do that quickly
Please.
while my colleague is looking for it. It is recommended that the PGS, number one, note the discussion document on Egoli Gas's application for the maximum gas price for the period 1st March 2026 to 28 February 2027, as per Annexure A. And my convene is also just getting a bit slow, Chairperson. I think the second one then says approve the publication of the discussion document on a Egoli Gas's application for public comment with the confidential information withheld as per Annexure A. That is the recommendation.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Members, comments or questions? Yes, CE.
Thank you, Chair. Just for consistency, Chair, we need to be clear. The first one was also, the previous submission was on the preliminary assessment. We said it's for noting. And this one, we are saying it is for noting and approval of the publication. Am I on the correct one? Let me just check. But I think in the agenda, it says approval. So let's be consistent with the fact that the preliminary assessments are for noting, and as a consequence of thereof, we then publish. And I think you have been guiding the team to say that for publication, we don't need to have an approval. So let's make all those three submissions, even the next one, to be for noting, and following that, there will be a publication. Thank you, Chairperson.
Thank you. Mr. Mkhize.
Thank you. I note the issue that comes forth. Maybe just to respond to my understanding, so when the response is provided, it is conclusive. Understand that we note the document and then we approve the publication thereof. And then two, my understanding is that matters that are confidential, they are anyway not disclosed, then making it unnecessary for us to spell out that those confidential matters will not be disclosed. Thank you.
Thank you. I don't see any other hands. Let's then make a decision. The recommendations have been read out by the team members by show of hands if we approve. I note your hand, Mr. Machola. Is that voting or are you asking a question?
Voting, Chair.
Okay. Other members, let's decide. Thank you, Mr. Mkhize. Thank you also, Advocate Sithole. Approved. Thank you, team. Then the preliminary assessment, the last item in the open meeting, preliminary assessment of Columbus Stainless application for the maximum gas price in terms of section 21, 1P for the period 1 July 2025 to 30th June 2027. Over to you, team.
Thank you very much, Chairperson. I will take the submission as read. Before members is indeed a preliminary assessment of Columbus's maximum gas price application for the period starting from 1 July 2025 until 30 June 2027. Chair, the purpose of the submission is to request this committee to note this preliminary assessment of Columbus, and which will then followed by the publication of the consultation document on our website. Chair, on the 5th of June, we received this application from Columbus for approval for its maximum gas price for a multi-year period, which covers 1 July 2025 until 30 June 2027. The application was determined using the NESA-approved cost-plus methodology. Chair, I'd like to draw members' attention to Table 1, which shows that Columbus is applying for a maximum gas price of 160.73 rand per gigajoules in terms of the cost plus approach for the 2 multi-year period as outlined in Table 1. Chair, I will then love to draw members' attention to the trading cost analysis, which is depicted under Table 2 of the submission, which shows both the calculation of the applicant, which is Columbus, as well as NESA. Chair, as we can see, the overall difference in the trading cost calculation between the applicant and NESA amounts to 31%. And the reason for this discrepancy, Chairperson, was attributed to taxation. Was attributed to tax expense. So in our determination of the tax expense, we use the flow-through tax method, which is outlined in the tax in the tariff guideline. In contrast, the applicant used the taxable income method, which is in accordance with income tax, and then this resulted into this significant difference in our tax calculation. Chairperson, as mentioned before, it is important to note that tax is subject to auditing under RLM. The estimated tax expense for Columbus will also be reviewed based on the audited annual financial statement that will be submitted by the applicant to verify this figure. And any over or under recovery will then be adjusted through the clawback or giveback mechanism. Chairperson, I would like to draw members' attention to Table 3 of the submission, which then provide a summary of the calculation of the overall maximum gas price between NESA as well as the applicant. And Chairperson, as we can see, the overall difference between our maximum price calculation is 3.53%, which is both attributed to trading cost as well as profit component. Chairperson, the difference is below 10%. As a result, we therefore preliminary accept Columbus maximum gas price application. Chairperson, the recommendations are under paragraph 15. Thank you.
Thank you. Members, comments, questions? Haisa, you have your hand up.
Chairperson, not as a member, Chair, but just to assist with clarifying the issue of the decision being sought for these submissions that have the consultation documents. Chair, the delegation matrix provide for approval of the consultation documents for publication, Chair, and not necessarily for noting. I know it's perhaps the way that the colleagues have been phrasing it. However, Chair, the decision that should be sought is the decision to approve the consultation documents, which then leads to the publication. And I think the CEO is probably right, just so we can have consistency on how we read out these requests for the decisions. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you. On this one, it says approve the publication. It says so on 15.1.2. So there are no issues there. We're noting the preliminary in 15.1.1 and then 15.1.2, it says approve. So there's no issue here on this one. Members, any comments or questions?
Chairperson, the agenda says noting and approval. And I think that's how Mr. Hlatroy is coming in to say,
yeah.
Let's be consistent. Agenda says noting and approval. So maybe for all 15 to 17, we note that it is for approval and that approval leads to the publication. Thanks, Chairperson.
Okay, but yeah, I think that's a convene issue because in any case, the decision is twice. Is noting the other one is approval. The question might be on convene, when they load, write two decisions, but that's an internal issue that they can deal with. But as long as the document states it correctly, that's fine, because convene might perform. I know these applications, they sometimes only allow you to choose one. I remember another one, you can't choose noting. It's not there in the software of the actual application you're using, but Tim can deal with it separately. but within the document, it is correct. Can we then vote? Because I don't see hands for any questions. We are noting the preliminary assessment. That's 15.1, and then we are approving the publication, which is 15.1.2. By show of hands, please. Thank you, Advocate Tole. Thank you, Mr. Mkhize. Thank you. I also approve. Thank you very much. That was item 17. We've come to the end of our public meeting. We would like to thank you, members of the public, for joining us today. So the meeting can be closed from the public, but thank you very much for being with us at this meeting as a member of the public. We appreciate your presence. Thank you. You can